Good afternoon and welcome to Havenview Middle School Black History Program. Today, our scholars will highlight the Memphians and Havenview Middle history and living legends. We will see innovative presentations put together by our very own HMS students about historical Black colleges, the Divine Nine, and the legends of Memphis. Finally, you will hear from our very own Dr. Vincent Hunter as he shares with us the vision of Whitehaven Empowerment Zone. First up, let's hear from the very talented A.B. McEwen singing Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Lift every voice and sing to earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let us rejoice, sing, rise high as the listening sky. Let us march on to victory is won.
What's that threat that you throwing up? A5. Oh, what's that threat that you represent? A5. Oh, what's that threat that you throwing up? A5. Oh, what's that threat that you represent? A5. We'll get crunk. A5. Get crunk. 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 Say crunk. Who am I? I'm OD, Alpha 5, represent a rhyme spitter. 4th of December, cold as the winter. A step away from 100. All y'all know that I was running. Everything y'all doing, we started at done it.
Sweeter than a switcher. Mad 'cause I'm cuter than the girl that's with ya. I could talk about it 'cause I know that I'm pretty. And if you know it too, then ladies sing it with me. All eyes on me when I walk in. No question that this girl's a 10. Don't hate me 'cause I'm beautiful. Don't hate me 'cause I'm beautiful. My walk, my talk, the way I dress. It's not
Yeah, this is a story of famous dog. But the dog that chases its tail will be busy. These are clapping dogs, rhythmic dogs, harmonic dogs, house dogs, street dogs, dogs of the world unite, dancing dogs. Yeah, counting dogs, funky dogs, nasty dogs.
Lovely hair. She's foxy, classy, oh, sexy, sassy. She's heavenly, a treat for the eye to see. She's real, oh, she's stacked. Got all the curves a man like. Yeah. When it gets dark and when it gets cold, we hold each other till we see the sun. Yeah, so you just hold my hand, baby. I promise that I can. Just hold my hand. Nothing can come between us if you just hold my hand. Hold my hand. The nights are getting darker, oh, and there's no peace inside. Yeah. So why make our life?
I'm so sophisticated. To get a person, you gotta be initiated. To get a person, you Yeah, I touch with empire, you heard me? Yeah, 4 stacks on the bone, made jean jacket. I'm addicted to things, I got a mean habit. Look at my rings, I got the king tatted. Me stacking my cream, the only thing matter.
Since the beginning, Black innovators have shaped everything from the streets we walk on to the places we all know and love. Their legacies live on through the countless Black Memphians who inspire, encourage, uplift us all to make Memphis the best place it can be. Black history isn't a 1 month thing, especially in Memphis. We celebrate the Black community 365 days a year. And we will continue to uplift our community's inspirational stories every single day. We attract the fearless, those with innovative spirits and the drive to create something special. People who rise above and see a brighter future for themselves and others. And it is those people from Tom Lee to Ida B. Wells to Danny Thomas that made Memphis what it is today.
Got to do your thing. Do your thing.
So what I do is I train horses, and I make magic happen behind the scenes. Only ride one horse, which is my filly. When training horses, it can get dangerous, but we make sure to stay safe. We use techniques like attaching bungee cords, different size chains, and more. The horses also carry a package, or a shoe. The shoes contribute to the fancy way of walking. We also change out different bits to fit the horse. But the Tennessee walking horses are not always supported. We receive a lot of backlash for animal abuse or because the chains are too heavy. And sometimes the chains are heavy, but it's all about the aftercare that either cause or prevents scars. At LMB Stables, we love and care for our horses from their manes to their hooves, and we will never do anything to hurt them. I've been told that me and my father are the best horse trainers and that I am the best and only African American female ground woman that they have seen so far. Is it true? I'll let you decide.
We have our eighth graders here, and we're going to go on and get started. Alexander, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hello there. My Albright. I'm an eighth grade optional scholar here at Havenview. We just like to thank you for your time being here, and this really means a lot to the Whitehaven community and the school itself. Just let you know, this is being recorded, and I hope you do not mind. We would just like to ask you a couple of questions, and then just enjoy what you have to say. So the first question that I have for you is, what is the empowerment zone? Because some kids and some teachers that are new to this zone, they probably won't know what is the empowerment zone, and we'll just like to know what is it exactly.
Okay. But good afternoon. How you all doing? And I'm
I'm
sorry
doing.
for being late. I was on another call. Well, Empowerment Zone was the brainchild of our former superintendent, Dorsey Hobson, and Charlie McVeigh, who's the founder of Pure Power. And their belief was that instead of having all of your proven talent working at the board, that you keep that proven talent in the school system and develop a team, which that team is comprised of a vertical alignment of all of the feeder patterns of schools in your particular community. In our feeder pattern, we have, of course, I don't know if you know, but we have, of course, Havenview Middle, A. Maceo Walker, Oakshire, John P. Freeman, Holmes Road, Jeter K8, Robert R. Church, and Whitehaven High School, of course, and then Havenview, of course. And our basis is that we have a feeder pattern where teachers and administrators and support coaches from the entire zone work together, and we be vertically aligned, meaning that third grade teachers work with seventh grade teachers, and seventh grade teachers work with ninth grade teachers to assure that we're teaching the same standards, but also, but most of all, making sure that when children transition and go through transition grades are the fifth grade because now they're going to middle school, and eighth grade because now they're going to high school, is that whenever children leave their particular set of grades or their school, they're ready for the next set of grades or the next transition to higher learning. So that's really the purpose of us making sure that we're all, number one, that we work as a family. We work together with teachers so teachers can know what's expected. Because what teachers have to learn, and now they're understanding in the Whitehaven Empowerment Zone, it's important for elementary teachers to know what middle school teachers are teaching so they can better prepare their children in elementary for middle school. Same way with middle school teachers knowing what has to happen in high school so they will know exactly what to prepare their children to have the foundational skills needed in order to be successful in their grade conglomeration. Also, it's an opportunity for all of the parents and community members and stakeholders in one community to all be united under one umbrella, which is the Whitehaven Empowerment Zone PTO, as well as having one governing body, which is our Leadership Council. That we have representation from all grade levels in our community to serve on one body to make the best decision for you guys.
All right, thank you. That is a lot of information that is very helpful to most people. The second question that I'd like to jump right into is, what is the vision of the empowerment zone? Because you gave that whole speech, and again, that was very, very helpful. Thank you. But some people may have some misconceptions about the empowerment zone, which I'd like to clarify that. So what is the vision of it exactly?
Well, the overall vision is that we have a product, which would be our children, that will be internationally competitive when they leave high school. That's really important, is that we've worked together as a family from first grade, from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. And that when children leave Whitehaven High School, after going through any one of the elementary schools and middle schools in our area, and when they leave high school, they're internationally competitive. What do I mean by internationally competitive? That means number one is that they have the foundational skills to compete with children all across this country. Because what we're finding is that we only go to school for 180 days, but children in other countries go to school for how many? They go to school for 300 days a year. So right away, you have a 120-day deficit that we have to cover in order for you all to be internationally competitive. We also want to make sure you're socially and emotionally sound. What do I mean by that? Meaning that we provide you safety nets along the way, that just in case that you all encounter some issues, maybe if it's personal or in the community that you're struggling with dealing with and having closure, we try to be there to be a sounding board to give you, very strategic advice on how to deal with some of these social and emotional challenges. Also, we want you all to have the family base embedded in you all. It's important that, especially with children of color, and with children of color for, for hundreds of years, their their main their main thing that they always focused on, especially our ancestors, was that the family base is so important, meaning that you really care about one another and support everyone. It's not always about dollars and it's not always about cents. It's not always about a test score. It's about making sure we are morally sound and we have dignity in everything that we do. So, yes, we want you to be internationally competitive academically, but we also want you to have the family base so you'll be socially and emotionally strong.
All right, well, thank you for that. That was very helpful again. Now, for our third question, I would like either Jakarian or my other friend, Nakaya, to go ahead and take the question, since I don't want to steal all the spotlight, of course.
Okay. All right, Alexander.
Well, hello, Mr. Vincent. My name is Jaharian Cage. I am in the honors class, and I would like to ask you one question. What are the goals of the Whitehaven Empowerment Zone?
Okay. It's kind of same as the vision. Uh, as we have different goals. We have different goals for teachers that we have for administrators and we have for children. Um, me as being the executive principal, my biggest goal and my primary goal for principals is helping principals transition from being leaders of schools to being leaders of communities. That's our biggest transition and biggest goal for principals and administrators, is that principals transition from being just leaders of school or being leaders of communities. Because we know now that in order for a community to be successful, it has to have aggressive and successful schools. If the schools are not strong in a community, that community will not be strong, meaning it will not produce people who are internationally competitive. It will not produce people who are able to go out in the workforce and be productive citizens in society. Right? So as a principal, we're trying to transition principals from being leaders of schools to leaders of communities. With teachers, we want teachers to develop a great network among themselves and have not only congeniality, but collegiality in working with one another to prepare the best learning setting for our children, regardless if it's at Havenview or if it's at Maceo Walker or it's at John P. Freeman or if it's at Oakshire. We want the same type of competitive atmosphere, but a nurturing atmosphere that when children come to our school, number one, they feel safe, they are safe, and they're given the best opportunity to be the very best that they can be. That's what we want with our teachers. We want teachers prepared academically to be able to give you all work-based learning, project-based learning, not just being able to find the right answer and circle A, B, or C, or bubble in A, B, and C, but to be able to think and understand why the answer is A and why the answer is not B. The why, the two drivers of the Whitehaven Empowerment Zone, academically, the two drivers in everything that we do is why and creativity. We want our young people to be creative. We want them to be able to think out of the box, be able to be independent thinkers, not just to be able to take tests, but I know that seems like that's all you do, because that's all we pretty much have to do in order to stay in compliance. But life is greater than just being able to take a test. Life should be about being able to think about why an answer is an answer and be able to find ways to help others understand why an answer is an answer. It's about being your brothers and your sisters' keeper. And I just think it's just, as educators, we just don't have enough, I think, say so in determining exactly what all you all learn. But life is greater than just being able to take a test. And being, I can tell the way you all's conversation that you all are very astute and you understand what I'm talking about. I know you're tired of taking tests. You're taking CFAs, you're taking 10 ready, you're taking bi-weekly testing, you're testing every day. But when you don't really have enough time to actually go into talking about why something is important or being able to create things. And that's really important. Creative thinking. You think about creative thinking, you think about the sentences and evaluative levels of Bloom's taxonomy. That's where it centers around the creativity. And with children, we want children to be able to, when they leave high school, our goal is that either you'll be properly prepared for either a 2-year school, a 4-year school, a trade school, the armed forces, or the workforce. But we know that, especially being children of color, you have to be ready to do something productive when you leave high school. And we want you to have options. This is all about providing you all with as many life options as possible, whether it's any one of those opportunities, but we want you all to have options. If you're not educated and you're not properly prepared and you're not taught how to think and you're not given the opportunity to ask why, you will not be productive citizens and you will not be able to achieve one of those options. And we want you all to have at least one of those options when you graduate.
Okay, well, thank you for that information. All right, you can take over.
Hi, Dr.
How you,
Mr. Hunter.
how you
I
doing?
am Nakaya Blesso. I'm an 8th grade optional scholar here, and I wanted to ask you one question that has been on my mind for a while, which is how has your upbringing played a part in what you are doing now with Wes?
Well, I'm a product of Whitehaven. Um, I've been part of the Whitehaven community since 1975. That means when I was in the 6th grade, sixth grade. I moved to the Whitehaven community when I was in the 6th grade, and I've been part of this community since 1975, and I'm 56 years old now. So all I know is Whitehaven. So Whitehaven means so much to me. Why does it mean so much to me? Is because it meant a lot to my mother. And it also means a lot to me because Whitehaven is the last community school standing. Listen to me. The Whitehaven community is the last community that's standing that has effective schools that are performing well, that actually serve their community. Okay? I'm not talking about schools that are doing well, but children come from all over the city and attend. Yes, we're an optional school, okay? But of the 1,600 that go to Whitehaven, only about 250 are optional school students. And many of those 250 optional school students live in the community. The other 1,350 or so children come from our community. So that means it's very special to me because I believe in Whitehaven and it's meant so much to me. I was raised in a single parent home. It was just my mother and my 3 sisters. So I watched my mother have to struggle and really work hard to make sure all of her children were educated. And we weren't born with silver spoons in our mouths. Okay? I understand what it means to eat leftovers. I understand what it means to have to really work and grind. And I understand what it means to grow up in a house that may not have as many things as some of your neighbors or some of my friends. Some of my friends had 2 parents in the house and had and could go out to dinner every evening and had new clothes and things of that nature. I didn't have all of those things when I was growing up. I had some things I didn't know I was poor growing up because my mother did the best that she could, and I didn't know anything else better. I didn't know I really was poor until I got grown. Uh, so why did I share that? It's because those values that was placed in me by my parents, by my mother and my sisters, made Whitehaven become my life. And also that it was a man that in the Whitehaven community that really took to me and was very good to me, and that was Coach Stan Collins. He's our family engagement specialist now. And I didn't have a father growing up. So he stood in the gap for me as my father. Um, and he is he helped me understand what the role of being a man is actually about. And not having a father, it's tough. Not saying it's not it's impossible, but it's tough for a woman to teach a man how to be a man. She does the best that she can, but you really need a male influence. And Coach Collins was that male influence for me. So because he poured into me, and because people in the community saw sometime I would stray away and get me back right, I've always wanted to do the same thing for my community. I love the Haven. It's nothing better to me than Whitehaven. I love it. I bleed black and gold, and I believe in the parents and the community in the 38109 and 38116 zip codes because they have family values, and family means the world to me. I believe in family.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That is something that most students here struggle with. So I'm glad that they can have something to relate to, especially when we go to high school. So
Yes. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing each of you, and I hope you and your parents decide to allow you to come to Whitehaven. We don't always, we're not perfect, and we don't always get it right, but we're going to do our very best to make sure that every day you walk in that building at 4851, that you are given best opportunity to be the very best person you can be. And we want people to treat you like human beings, treat you like you have value because you do have value. And you all are going to be our leaders of tomorrow. We have all of the tools in our neighborhood to make Memphis and Tennessee and this nation great. And it starts with community schools like what we have and young people that look like you and I.
Yeah, I have one more question.
Okay.
Where do you see the empowerment zone within 5 to 10 years?
I'm going to be honest. In 5 years, I'm not sure. Uh, because the reason I say I'm not sure is because a lot of decisions are going to be made about our community in which I won't have, I personally will not have little to no control of. It's my prayer that we continue to grow and encompass more Whitehaven schools in this Whitehaven Empowerment Zone because I think it's a travesty that we don't have all of the schools in Whitehaven, only a select few. So that means that only a select few of my children in Whitehaven are being exposed to the extra help and support that we're able to give to kids in the Whitehaven Empowerment Zone. You all have teachers have academic coaches to help them to help you all. And I want all of the children in Whitehaven to have this. I want all the children to be part of an expo where they have a chance to come meet with people in different fields of work all across this city and across the state and this nation. We have a $6.25 million new STEM building that's about to be built at Whitehaven High School. I want all of the Whitehaven schools to participate in this, not just Havenview and A. Maceo and John P. Freeman. Yes, you all will help and enjoy that facility, but I think all of our schools in the Whitehaven community should have an opportunity. So if I had my way, it would be all of the schools in Whitehaven would be part of the Whitehaven Empowerment. But unfortunately, I'm not in a position anymore to influence that decision. That decision now is totally out of my hands. It's in other decision makers' hands, and it's my prayer that they just do what's right and make sure that the Whitehaven Empowerment Zone continues to grow because we have a lot of great things, a lot of great people that come out of the Whitehaven Empowerment Zone, and we got 30 former Whitehaven graduates that work at Whitehaven. And we got 52 former graduates in the Whitehaven Empowerment Zone. your assistant principal that organized this team session is a Whitehaven graduate. So we believe in our final product. Your principal is a Whitehaven graduate. Your principal, I was your principal's teacher. I taught your principal Algebra 2. She was in my class. So Whitehaven is special to a lot of people, and it's definitely special to me. I just hope and pray that decision makers don't get in the way and continue to allow us to grow. But to answer your question, and I'm not going to tell you a story in 5 years, I'm not sure, but it's my prayer that we continue to grow and help other children in the Whitehaven community. But that was a very, very good question. And I wish I had a better answer, but I don't. Well, anytime, whatever I can do, especially for children in Havenview, I'll be glad to. And I just like seeing these bright faces. These some intelligent young people. You just make sure they sign up and be at 4851 Elvis Presley. I need them over there with me.